What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? The drug fentanyl became a top trending topic on social media after news broke on Monday that celebrated actor Michael K. Williams was found dead in his Brooklyn apartment as people worked to determine the actor's cause of death, which was not immediately confirmed. There was no apparent proof that Williams' death was attributed to fentanyl, which the Drug Enforcement Administration defines as a synthetic opioid, which is 80 to 100 times more potent than morphine. But considering the recent overdose deaths of Los Angeles-based comedian Fuquan Johnson and two others attributed to fentanyl, and Williams' past battle with drug addiction, people on social media were quick to try to connect the dots. The details of Michael Williams' death were sparse. The most that has been reported so far is that his nephew was concerned about him, so he went to do a welfare check and found him in his apartment, dead. And he said that there was heroin on the table, suggesting that he may have died of a heroin overdose. People are dropping like flies from drugs being laced with fentanyl. So a lot of people are suspecting perhaps that heroin was also laced with fentanyl. We don't know. What we do know is that drugs are dangerous. We know that for a fact. And man, I don't know how many of these cases we got to see before we learn to not play with this fire. In fact, speaking of playing with fire, in a 2000, well, you know what? Let me back up. I don't know exactly when he did the interview, but but Michael Williams talked about his battle with drug addiction. He said that in 2012 is when he developed a drug habit, playing the role of a heroin dealer. He said he developed the habit then, but it wasn't heroin. His drug of choice back then was cocaine. And he said he struggled for many years with it. That tripped me out. That's something I did not know. I guess, in fact, he also said that he struggled with that character because he didn't know how to turn it off. He became Omar Little, the character that he played. A lot of people tend to think that people take drugs to just fit in. While that is true, people take drugs for a myriad of reasons. Peer pressure, try to fit in. They're battling some form of depression. They might be in pain. They could be going through something. In fact, a lot of people develop addiction, drug addiction, trying to suppress pain. Next thing you know, somebody is, hooked on opiates. That happens all the time. But whatever the case, man, if you can avoid those drugs, avoid. I ain't gonna front, fam. I'm scared as hell of drugs. There ain't a lot of things that scare me, but drugs scare the hell out of me. I don't want any parts of it. I've seen drugs bring down the strongest people. I'm talking about the most educated, the most independent, the most self-reliant, self-contained. I've seen it happen. I've seen drugs tear down empires. I don't want that. And that's not me being condescending. That's me being me. That's me knowing my limits and knowing that drugs have no limits. You can't control it. Once you go into you, man, it's an out-of-body experience. You don't always have to touch the fire to know it's hot. You can see it burn somebody else and be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that. I've seen so many people. I think the first time I saw a true addict when I could understand what was going on, I was like 7th grade. And I was looking for my mom. My mom would hang out in these cafes and stuff, and she'd be at 2 or 3 places. I can go to any one of those places at night, and that's where she'll be if I'm looking for her, if she's out. Walked in looking for her, couldn't find her. But I walked in the bathroom with this one place, and dude was in there hitting that heroin, putting it in his vein. I was like, freaked me out, man. I got the hell out of there. So the question is, who's next? I do believe that we're gonna lose at least one more major player, at least one more celebrity to drug addiction this year. And the reason why I think we have in these episodes, number one, a lot of this stuff is being laced with fentanyl. Fentanyl is like, I think they said it's responsible for I think they said somewhere in like the 30% range for all of these drug overdoses. It could be much higher. I can't remember exactly what they said. But a lot of people ODing. I don't know, it was 30. I know it's a big jump, but it was either the number 30 or 80 keeps coming up. I can't remember if it was 80% or 30%, but in any event, it's a high number. So I think that it's going to be more deaths this year. But also in America, there's a social crisis. There's a lot of people out of work. People can't pay their mortgages. People can't pay their rent. Can't put food on the table. There's a lot of people out here that's desperate, and to cope, they're turning to drugs. Even in Hollywood, a lot of these guys are out of work. Just because they open the city back up, or they open the state back up, don't mean the checks immediately start coming in. You gotta crank that machine all the way back up and get on out there and start working before you can start seeing the money. So, who knows? Maybe somebody's going through some financial issues, or it's got too much time on their hands to party. People ready to get out of the house and just party and turn up. And they turn it up so hard, they turn it up dead. That's cold, yeah. So I feel like there's a number of reasons why people are just getting caught up in doing a lot of drugs and ODing right now. And it's gonna be more to come. I can guarantee you that. I hope I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. R.I.P. Michael K. Williams. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?
Yeah.